Well, welcome back to the kitchen, and I'm preparing pies in here today. No, not the edible sort, a pie of Cambridge pie. Well, actually a pie of Philips pie. This belongs to Adam, a friend of mine, who's brought it down, and we just opened it up today. He bought it from eBay as fully working, which it did, I'll give it its due, but the spools were very strange indeed. Somebody had spun these up not very well and stuck them on the end instead of the spring-loaded affairs that you see here. And these usually tension the tape nicely against the turntable itself so that the thing runs straight. Another thing was that there was a very, very thin, tiny little belt in here, and for some reason best known to whoever refurbished this in the first place, although as you can see from the state of the chassis, they didn't do a very good job cleaning it. They've gone and altered the gear ratio, the drive system, for some reason. Usually on one of these you wouldn't get the brass collar you can see spinning round and round there. And the motor pulley isn't original either. That pulley is from, I think, a 4307 or 4308 mono machine. So heaven knows what's been going on there. It is in fact a slightly bigger diameter. So I don't think we'll be trying to play it on anything except 7.5 inches per second, which incidentally it appears to play pretty well at. Nice steady sound. It's got that nice old-fashioned warm sound that they did. So after a bit of TLC and freeing things off, it seems as good as ever it was. Thankfully we had a donor machine, which internally at any rate is in much better condition really mechanically, but electronically I'm afraid that one is shot. That's the Philips N4407 version. So there you are, and we've secreted the circuit diagram. This one was marketed as a PYE 9137, but it is, to all intents and purposes, a Philips 4407. Stereo speakers at the sides here, you just see hidden away. They're about 6x4, I suppose, which doesn't sound too promising, but they do actually sound rather nice. Another thing that goes on these usually, everything rubber turns to goo on these Philips machines, and you tend to find what you've got here is a blob of licorice where you should have this rubber pulley. And what they've done when they refurbished it is to cut a bit of a VCR pinch roller out, I should think, but look at the job they've made of it. You know, it's as if it's been hacked about with a butter knife. So I've put one of my offerings on there, and it's quietened it down, and it now fast forwards and rewinds as it should. So and the heavier belt will last longer than the well, this is what was on it, and you see how thin it is. It's well, little more than the counter belt really. So there we have it. All we've got to do now is put the cover back on so you'll get more of an idea as regards how it should look. There we are, nice hammerite finish on there. There's only detail differences really between this and the Philips model. It's really just the colours they use for things that are different. Exactly the same mechanics are fitted as the some of the older Philips kit used to have. What on earth they've put this bronze or brass collar on here for, I've no idea. But it's supposed to be able to play a record at 7.5, 3 3/4, or 1 7/8 inches per second, or 19, 9.5, 4.75 centimeters a second. But I suspect that it's probably stuck in high speed now, which isn't a bad thing. They do sound wonderful on 7.5. So yeah, better not play anything back, I suppose, because the copyright Nazis will be after us, knowing my luck. But we've now got the proper spring-loaded hubs back on, you see, that hold it nice and true and steady to the machine. There are various connections on the back as well. These nearly always come with a lid here missing. And you've got external loudspeakers. There's a switch which turns the internal ones off if you want. Headphones. And then over here, microphone right and left, or stereo mic, phono and radio plug. And it's the usual thing. It runs on 4 different mains voltages: 220, 110, 127 and a 245 being shown. To run it on 60 cycles a second, the only thing you had to do from memory was alter this to the 110, 127 setting for the States and invert the motor pulley, put the belt round the other groove, and then it would play on that just as successfully. Not a bad piece of kit, but I should say it's seen quite a bit of use, but thankfully not beyond repairing. Anyway, we'll see you soon.